Here it is again, the Goosky S1 Legend.
This is the very same one from the very first batch, which Tonchi and I reviewed last year. The reasonably priced RC helicopter with many flights.
And multiple oopsies, of course. Now we'll talk about our experiences and we'll go through everything you need to know about this model after almost a year of use. We'll tell you about how it never crashed despite multiple incidents, and we'll talk about a potential design flaw and a couple of problems as well. Long story short, thanks to Frank Lee at Goosky, we were among the very first people to receive the Goosky S1 last year, this thing over here, and thus we were asked to review it.
There was one addition. If we didn't like it, we were told to throw it in the bin.
Well, this heli was nowhere near the bin, except this time for the shot.
We still like it, and we fly it, and we drop it. I can't say we crash it, because it hasn't crashed so far.
Not even a scratch. How is that even possible? Let's find out.
We use this helicopter for multiple purposes. I would say in all possible scenarios. I fly this heli as a 3D model.
The only thing you don't experiment with is flying in very small spaces because
I'm not that good at 3D flying.
This helicopter is a real beast when it comes to 3D though. Daniel is learning to fly with this heli in bodyboxing. He can even fly it in stronger winds, sort of. It's also an ideal beginner model, and it does this job pretty well. Daniel flies the heli with stabilizer mode, when the heli is much more like a drone than a helicopter, but that's great at this stage.
Although there is no GPS, so it doesn't keep its location, but it's stable like the stones of Stonehenge.
Interesting analogy, I guess, yeah?
This is the time when the heli needs to tolerate even the harder landings.
And it does.
Do you like this helicopter?
Yes.
Why?
Because stabilizer's good and it feels like a big heli but it's small.
Why are you learning to fly with this helicopter?
Because it's easier to learn flying with small helicopters and it has a stabilizer, not like the other ones.
What are you flying with the heli?
Right now, I'm trying to learn one of the basic tricks, but I'm also a basic trick. First flight.
And takeoff and landing?
Too easy.
Did you crash this heli ever?
No.
Were you close to crash it?
Yeah.
How many times?
5.
Oh.
For 18.
Yeah.
But if you crash with heli, it basically just goes like
the rotor blade.
Just bend and then you just redo the whole thing.
Do you remember what was the scariest moment with the heli?
Flying close.
Why?
It was like just don't get too close, just don't get too close, just don't get too close.
Do you recommend this helicopter to anyone?
I recommend it to starters who kind of know flying but still need lots of learning.
So this heli is used for training and for 3D too. And it drops into the grass from time to time, but it's still intact.
We mentioned the design flaw at the beginning. Well, this should be a design flaw. Usually heli companies make a nice chunk of their money on spare parts alongside the models. But what if a model doesn't crash? Is that good or bad?
Well, I guess it depends. If Goosky intended to make money out of spares, then this is definitely a design flaw in my opinion. The heli is extremely durable and won't make too much money from them in that aspect.
At least not from us, I hope, because it never crashes. What if it did?
Well, let's suppose if you manage to crash it somehow, which is really difficult from experience, most of the spares are a couple of quid. Don't damage the flight control of a motor or the ESC. They are the most expensive compared to the other parts, and you'll be fine.
I think most of the crashes could be recovered under 30 quid, so you are still in the budget.
Indeed.
This heli is for almost everyone.
Almost.
For example, Tonchi doesn't fly the Goosky S1 too often. Why?
Well, I'm terrible at micro helis. I do like the Goosky, but I can't use it for 3D no matter what happens because I just don't get the feel of it, and I can't really get the pitch control quite as nice as I would have liked it, and yeah, that doesn't work for me. But I do like to fly it on occasion for like simple maneuvers, you know, sort of basic work.
Enjoying yourself.
To enjoy myself and the 30 seconds before the rain starts.
Yeah. Like last time, not last time, recently, we were at the airfield.
And I got to fly about 20 seconds throughout the day with this thing.
It started to rain very badly.
Yeah.
So,
we got soaked. Yes, there's no GPS, no fancy stunt flying by pressing a button. It doesn't look like the real ones, but it knows everything that a pro model must know. And unless you're completely broke, I understand, it happens to the best of us, you can definitely afford it.
The BNF version is still around 200. The RTF version is roughly 250. And we detailed everything, by the way, about this helicopter in
our previous review video.
That video.
Links in the description too.
This helicopter is under 250 grams, so most of the legal limitations don't apply to it.
Almost everywhere.
Check the rules of your country or region.
Let's talk about the problems.
Whilst I was editing this video, I really wanted to find something, and all we can find...
The elevator servo can jam in up position when the heli is off. When this happens, the blades cannot be folded back onto the tail, into the storage position. Never force this servo back into its position, or you can damage it pretty badly. Connect the battery for a second, the servo will move back to the middle, and voila, problem solved.
The other problem comes from its size. It's very hard to film or photograph this helicopter, the Goosky S1, because it's a quick and small model. Camera autofocus is typically not able to focus correctly.
But this will be your biggest problem, most likely.
And of course, if your eyesight is not the best,
seeing the models from further distances can be very challenging.
Very challenging.
In addition, because it's a small model, if you do end up dropping it in tall grass, you're never finding that thing again.
There is nothing else, to be honest. We tried to find more, but there isn't more.
And you know what?
We love this helicopter because it fascinates me time to time. It tolerates the wind so well, it's unbelievable. No harsh conditions affect this model, which is incredible in this sub 200 size.
Indeed. And we never crashed it. How did we do that?
I'm not sure how, but if I had to guess, this is because we know when the game is over.
Yeah, from experience.
So I know exactly when to switch it off in midair, and with this switching off, it has no momentum.
It absorbs the impact pretty well.
Yeah.
It doesn't crash.
It doesn't crash.
In addition, the good materials and sturdy structure can handle it quite well. So you can just dust the heli off and you put it back on its landing pad, and you can take off again, back into the air, you can fly it once more. This has worked for us so far, despite crashing it into walls, fences, bushes, whatever else you want. You can put its storage case into the back of your car or in your backpack. It's small enough to do so. And there's a heli with you at all times, which you can fly basically anywhere.
This is the Goosky S1.
It's a very cool heli.
After 10 months, this, apart from some grass marks on the blades, it's okay. Yeah.
It's a good heli. It's reliable. It's good at what it does.
Yeah.
It can handle almost anything. So it's a wonderful helicopter to add to your collection. And of course, if you're a beginner, it's also a wonderful thing to start with until you upgrade to a bigger size. So yeah, thank you Frank from Goosky once more for sending us the heli.
And we hope so you like this video. If you did, you know the process.
Please like and subscribe.
Yeah. And see you in the next one.
Bye.